come back, but I do want to go downstairs because there are some fans who are coming out of Staples Center, and they're standing by with Jeff Rawson. And we know that the family made the decision that they wanted to include fans in this memorial, Jeff.
Yeah, and there were plenty of them here, Chris, but I will tell you this. In fact, let me swing around here just for a moment because fans are beginning to come out right now from the Staples Center, many of them. But what's interesting is, and just standing outside for this and watching it on television sets, is that this was not the sort of chaotic situation the LAPD had feared. In fact, at one point they had said 750,000 people could show up outside the perimeter, and they actually urged people to stay home. In the end, NBC News just spoke with the LAPD. It was more like 1,500 people, probably, when you add up the Staples Center and the Nokia Theater of people just waiting outside. So in all, it was a very civilized event outside as it was inside. A couple of fans who were inside who wanted to share their views about it. What was it like for you? You're from California, you were telling me. What was the most poignant moment, you thought?
You know what? It was just an amazing event. Overall, it was the whole scheme of things. It wasn't a concert. It wasn't performers. They were real people. It was a true dedication to a man that is just going to live on forever. To me, it wasn't even a sense of a memorial. It was a dedication to somebody. And it was just outstanding. It was amazing, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing to do. And I'm glad, and I was honored to be part of that. That's great.
And you actually got tickets to be inside. It seemed like Brooke Shields especially, she broke down.
Oh, yeah, that was hard.
What was the I don't want to say the best moment, but the most poignant for you is probably the best way to put it.
I don't know. Jennifer Hudson, she looked like an angel coming out on the stage, all dressed in white. She came out from the back, and it was all dark behind her. She just looked beautiful.
And they ended with the children. They ended speaking about the children.
Yeah, it was great.
And you were telling me Brooke Shields was one of your favorite.
She was one of my favorite as well, and I also liked the Jermaine Jackson singing the song "Smile." That made me kind of choke up a little bit. So.
Do you think it struck the right chord? I mean, between the performances, you sort of walk that fine line at a memorial service.
Right.
Not being a concert and also paying tribute to his music. Do you think it struck that right chord?
I think it did.
Yeah, it was real.
Yeah.
It was exactly what you would expect from Michael Jackson if he were standing there on stage. It was real.
And it's what he would have wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was it was amazing.
That's great. Well, thanks for stopping. I know it's the crush of people heading out.
No
I appreciate
worries.
it.
We're going to run to our $30 parking lot. Thank you.
Yes. Very interesting. And you know what? The thing about this is the LAPD did a very good job, at least just standing from the outside here. Really only one block in each direction is closed off. This is a frozen zone, so the fans are beginning to come out now, Chris, with some interesting memories of this.
Harriet Cole from Ebony Magazine has been watching all of this along with us from Chicago. And Harriet, I want to get your impressions.
You know, I felt like it was a cleansing. This experience, every note that was touched with the people who knew him for so long and could share memories of him as a little boy, as this prodigy. The music and how Smokey said when Michael took his song and made it his own song, it felt like a cleansing, like we were washed with the love of Michael Jackson, the purity of his spirit. And that was really important because there's been so much negativity, and it really felt like it was washed away in his love. And our experience when Ebony Magazine was with Michael Jackson 2 years ago, when we met him, we met this man who was full of love and light and generosity and just a sweetness about him that came forth through this great celebration, and really through his daughter, who with such a sweet face and pure eyes said what so many have said, that he was an incredible father. He was also the most amazing performer, but he loved his children, he loved his family, he loved his fans, and that love and that greatness will live on forever.
Now, I think the biggest ovation that came throughout this service was when Berry Gordy called him the greatest entertainer that ever lived. People jumped to their feet. They were clapping. But before that, and I can't believe we haven't talked about this more in the hours that we've been on the air, he said when he saw the moonwalk at Motown 25, it was magic. And there's no one who hasn't seen that clip in the past few days who wouldn't agree with that. And you see all the imitators, and it's just not the same. And here's what Berry Gordy said, Harriet. He said, with that moonwalk, Michael Jackson went into orbit and never came down. And I guess
That
in a
was
way,
so
if
great.
it turns out that 1 billion people watch this today, who could dispute that?
But imagine if 1 billion people did watch it today, everybody got to see more of Michael, this incredible spirit, this incredible entertainer, great friend, father, family member. Got to see a part of him that we haven't seen in recent times. And for Berry Gordy to kind of celebrate it like that, you know, that he's on the moon and still on the moon and in heaven too. How great is that?
And it was going to be, many people thought, a tremendous comeback. Obviously, you sell 1 million tickets as soon as they go on sale, and there are going to be 50 concerts in London and then potentially a world tour. Harriet Cole, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts and your reminiscences of Michael Jackson. We do appreciate it. I'm joined here, as I have been throughout, by Touré, MSNBC contributor, and Diane Dimond, who has covered Michael Jackson, written about him, and spoken about him so extensively over the years. Your thoughts, Touré?
First of all, it was the right tone, I felt. It was like a Black Baptist church service. You had music, you had, you know, preachers, several preachers, you know, even the Congressman Jackson Lee was like a preacher. You had some human moments. Brooke Shields was great in reminding us of private times with him. Magic Johnson was great, telling us that he liked Kentucky Fried Chicken.
They sat on the floor and ate it.
Yeah. You know, I loved Reverend Sharpton's comment that, you know, nothing strange about your daddy. What was strange was what your daddy had to deal with. Because he was talking directly to the children. And, you know, no matter what you, the people out there, might think about that comment, the children need to go forward thinking that their father was an extraordinary person who dealt with extraordinary circumstances and marched to the beat of his own drummer, but was a brilliant person who shone like nobody before or after him. You know, I mean, so many great performances. Stevie, Mariah. You know, if you didn't cry when Stevie did those sad songs or when Mariah did I'll Be There, when Paris said Daddy was the best father that I could ever imagine, then you had to.
And Jermaine Jackson singing Smile after Brooke Shields had said the brilliant songs he wrote were not his favorite songs. It was Charlie Chaplin. And she quoted a line from the song Smile. She quoted from The Little Prince. This was really a mix, I think, most people strive for when they have a memorial service. They want laughter, they want tears, and they do want, I think, to help the people who really did know him and were close to him, or the fans who felt they knew him and felt close to him, to be able to move forward and felt he had been given his due.
This is an NBC News special report, live from the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Here is Brian Williams.
From Los Angeles, and so our coverage begins of this massive event.